going on, horror movie lovers? Horror movie addict right here. Let's talk about Castle Freak, directed by the guy who made Reanimator, Stuart Gordon. This is another HP Lovecraft film adaptation based off of Lovecraft's The Outsider, and this tells a story about a family that inherits a castle and they're going through a rough patch in their marriage. You got a daughter who's blind and a kid that's dead from an accident caused by the father who's now a recovering alcoholic. Yada yada yada. This has a lot of drama in it, but it's also a monster slasher movie because the slasher is a monstrous freak and he looks hideous. He looks like that. Very ugly, very disturbing. Let's go into the things that I like about this movie. There's hardly anything really bad to say about it. This is a hidden gem of a film. I was recommended this film by a documentary that said top 50 greatest movies you've never seen, and this was one of like a dozen or so that I had not seen on that list. But number one was Black Christmas, and I've definitely seen that. And I agree, that is number one. Best horror movie out there. Black Christmas. Check that out. Shout out to Irish Spuds this week. Shout out to you because you're a castle freak also. The things I like is the score. I thought the score really fits the tone of this movie. It's very gothic, it has great atmosphere, and I feel like that string instrument score really just makes you feel more unsettled. It just really builds the tension, the atmosphere throughout. It's very stormy. There's lots of lightning that they use to light the scenes more naturally versus just, lights in the room. It's always dark. You got lightning going off. It's thundering. There's the rain. And it just adds to the tension. It adds to the scene, the look. It's very gothic. It's very HP Lovecraft. Love the feel of the movie. It's very serious, the tone. You got this family drama going on, but it doesn't really weigh down the film. It doesn't really drag the pace. It has a very even pace to the movie. I wasn't really ever bored because I was kind of invested in the family. And I really like the brutal violence. There's not a whole lot. It takes a while for there to actually be like on-screen gore. So it's not like a very like splatter-like film, but it doesn't need to be. It's not here to be that. It's here to build tension and get to that get to that point where when the gore does hit, it actually is shocking because you weren't expecting it. It just kind of comes out of nowhere, like, oh shit, this guy is brutal. The violence is brutal. The carnage is very gnarly when he's like chewing on people. It's kind of cringy. You almost want to look away. It's very sadistic, the violence, and I really like the actor Jeffrey Combs, and I haven't seen Reanimator, but I think he's in a lot of Stuart Gordon's films. I think he's in a lot of horror films. I looked up his like filmography. He's in like all kinds of horror movies. And Barbara Crampton, she's in here. Love Barbara Crampton. I loved her in Chopping Mall especially, and she's in here. And all the acting was very good. I mean, there's a lot of Italian actors in here. It's based in Italy, so there's a lot of Italian speaking. So I can't really say if they're good actors, but mainly it's just the American family, Barbara Crampton, Jeffrey Combs. They were very good. I liked their characters. They're very well fleshed out, and especially the father John, like when he's being interrogated for like a murder that he did not do. Just it's very believable, and you're frustrated with him. And the third act, when it gets kicking, man, it is intense. It's scary. The atmosphere again just makes an awesome third act. And anytime you have a third act where there's a final chase and it's on a rooftop, it's going to be great. Like a Halloween 4 with Rachel and Jamie Lloyd on the rooftop. You get some of that in here, and it's freaking amazing. So the only things I did not care for is why is there no subtitles? There's lots of Italian speaking, and when Italians are speaking to each other about crucial things, like you feel like what they're saying is important and I need to know, but they're not letting you know. So I was just like, okay, why is the audience being left in the dark about what's being said in all these different scenes? It just irritated me. It's like, I want to know what's being said. I don't know Italian. And there's like little nitpicky like logic issues. I'm like, okay, how did they not see him there? How can they not hear this chain holding like heavy breathing monster like within 20 feet away. Just the way he breathes and he scuffles around, like he's not picking up his feet, he's dragging his feet, and they can't hear him. And when they go to like his like room in the basement where he's been locked away for a long time, where is he shitting and pissing? Like, I think about these things. Like, how are they not smelling piss and shit? Like, come on. How are they not hearing him? There's like a scene where he makes a noise, he wakes up the blind daughter. He goes out the door, and I shit you not, 2 seconds later, the mom and dad are in there, and they didn't see him in the hallway. Get the fuck out of here. It must have been like the way they edited it together. Maybe there was a bunch of time in between there that we don't know about, but man, it seems like they just walked by the bad guy. It's like, you didn't see him? Just like little logic things like that. I'm just like, dude, that's not how that would work. They would see him. They would hear him. What? I get it. It's a big castle, but get the fuck out of here. You don't hear someone getting tortured down there? It's bullshit. And the DVD transfer for this movie, it says digitally remastered, but there's all kinds of spots where like the right side will like have like green spots, and then like this yellow ring will just keep popping up. It was very jarring, so that's another thing I did not care for. But other than that, I really enjoyed this movie. It's very creepy, dark, gothic in its atmosphere, the tone. I love the acting. It's very, very well done and well shot by Stuart Gordon. So if you like his other work, if you're a fan of Reanimator, this isn't necessarily like the same feel and type of movie. But if you're a fan of this guy's previous work, I can't see you not liking this one. So when it comes to Castle Freak, definitely check out this cult classic and go out and buy it. The clap award for best scene will go to the chase when the freak is chasing the blind girl and the mom through the halls, and it's just intense and scary as all hell. And the hottest chick in this movie is not who you would think it would be. The hooker is Barbara Crampton. I still got a crush on her. Like, this is just less than a decade after Chopping Mall, but she's still beautiful. There's one scene where she's like about to like show her tits, but she doesn't. We get teased. Man, she's still a beautiful woman. Even to this day, she still looks okay. You know, she's aged pretty good. Now let's get into the movie. So this movie opens up with the mom, and she's very abusive to her son. We find out why later on, but she's just beating him all the time, locking him in the room. The cat like gets to eat his food for him before he gets the food, and it's like rotten bread. Just all kinds of neglect that this woman's showing her own son. Goes to her bed, dies of like old age, heart attack, something. And then the family inherits the castle, and there's no money. So they're like, you just get the castle. There's no money. There's no fortune. You can sell everything in the castle, and that's how you'll make your money. But meanwhile, they keep the maid around, so I'm guessing they have some money, like, left over, like, to pay this woman. Are they going to pay this maid? Because if they don't got money to pay her, like, she would be like, fuck you guys. I don't care if you got the castle. I'm leaving. Can they afford a maid? I don't know. I'm just thinking about stupid things. I was just thinking that while watching, like, can they afford her? Are they going to pay her? Because they didn't inherit her. They just inherited the castle. So why is the maid still there? And then, coincidentally, the maid's also, like, the sister of the main guy's lawyer. Which is funny later on when the maid's dead and the lawyer sees that he's, like, attacking his own client. Like, you son of a bitch! And then we find out about the car accident. Jeffrey Combs, his character, got in a car accident, drunk. Son died. Daughter got blind. And I like little subtle things like this in the movie where, like, the daughter, she's listening to Italian tapes trying to learn. And it's like, you know, the car is red and the flowers are green. Like, and she starts crying because she's like, this is pointless to learn because I can't see colors. I can't see these things. So why am I learning this? Like, just little things like that. It was like, oh, I feel sorry for her. Like, I'm blind in one eye, but I could imagine being blind in two eyes. That would suck. And then this cat gets brutally just fucking eaten. Like, it's off camera, but then, like, the carcass, like, the carcass just poof, slammed on the ground. It took me by surprise. Like, oh, shit. The cat was mutilated. And, so, yeah, because he was starving. And then he pulls, like, a Detective Hoffman at the end of, like, Saw 6. And, like, breaks his thumb right off to get the shackles off. That was gnarly. Like, he's taking the shackle off his hand and it takes his thumb off. Some of the gnarliest, most gruesome effects right there. Like, that's one moment where you're like, oh god. Even I was kind of like cringing because just I don't know, something about breaking bones and just that type of stuff. It grosses me out. But I can deal with like people getting ripped up and whatnot and kill. Like there's just little weird things like that actually kind of gross me out. They're having marital problems, and he goes and picks up this hooker. Doesn't realize she's a hooker until after he fucks her. And this is different. Usually in movies, horror movies, the girl will go down on the guy, but in this movie, the guy is going down on the girl. He's like sucking on her boobs and he's going down on her, and the castle freak's watching, seeing how guys pick up chicks. And then, so then when he like kidnaps the hooker, he's trying to do all the same things. He's like offering her booze, and then he starts going down on her and he eats her boobs. He's tearing her tits right off, and then later on he's going down on her. He's eating her pussy, literally eating her vagina. It is freaking just disgusting. It goes there, man. And then the cops got the worst cops here. Terrible police work. The whole like the cops don't believe them or want to help them cliche. Oh yeah, and then like Barbara Crampton, she finds out that the husband cheated, and she's like slapping him across the face like, you bastard. And I couldn't help but be like, dude, seriously, you haven't banged your husband in like 2 years since your son died. You just told him like that night or the night before he cheated on you, like that you wished he was dead instead of your son. And you guys are basically going to get a divorce any day now. And he gets drunk and fucks someone and you act like that's a major crime. Dude, no. I can't like feel sorry for her in that moment. I just can't. I'm like, dude, who gives a shit? Like, you deserve to be cheated on the way you're acting. Like, yes, I get it. Your son died. Just leave him. Like, seriously, just leave him, and then you can go fuck whoever you want. Like, you're not fucking him for over 2 years now. What did you expect? It just kind of made me mad. Like, pff, he's not the bad guy. Yeah, I know you shouldn't cheat, but you shouldn't be with him. If you're not gonna fuck him, leave him. And then the maid, she gets beat to death with the chains. And then the freak comes in and he takes the blind girl, and she's like, there's this weird scene like she's in the bedroom with her mom and they're talking, and then the mom walks out of the room, and the blind girl is still talking, and I'm not sure if she's just talking to herself at this point or if she's still talking to her mom, who she doesn't realize is not there. But the mom's in the hallway, and as the blind girl's talking, she takes off her jacket and she's talking about like, one day I'm gonna meet a boy, and I won't have to care about what he looks like, because I won't see him, and therefore all I gotta care about is his personality. And then she starts like taking her bra off, like she's like slipping her bra down, like she's about to get freaking naked. So did she? Who's she talk? Like, is she talking to herself? Did she know that her mom left, but her mom could come back at any moment? It's like, why is she getting naked? It made no sense. But she doesn't get fully naked. The freak stops that. He kidnaps her. And then the mom comes to save her. And she's like, come get me instead. And she has one arm clearly behind her back. But I guess the freak's too stupid to realize that, hey, she's hiding something clearly. And then just like in every horror movie, they never stab like a important spot like the fucking brain or the throat, the eyeball, and that would go into the brain. They just stab them like in a weird spot in the shoulder where it's not going to kill them. It's just annoying. Where to stab. A spot to stab that will kill them. Why would you go for some weird spot in the back of the shoulder? It just irritates me every time I see it, which is all the time. And then, yeah, they get chased up to the roof. Father breaks out of the police station while he's being interrogated. The cop loses it, and the other cops, they take him into the other room for a good, 2 minutes, leaving this guy uncuffed, who's a prime suspect in a murder of 2 people, uncuffed, unsupervised. I doubt there's cameras, and they just leave him in there by himself. It's not like an interrogation room where the door locks and seals and there's that two-way mirror. No, he's just at a desk in the office. There's the door, and there's an open window on a dark, cold, stormy night. They just leave the windows wide open. He just hops on out. It's like, good police work, Italy. So yeah, he goes home, helps, and the wife and daughter, they're just running around hiding from the freak. And this is when it's the most tense and awesome and atmospheric and scary. And they get chased to the roof. And there's also this one point where he just jumps out of the second story window and lands on his feet. And seeing the way he walks already, he's like limping all the time. How he's catching up. How that fall didn't fuck up his walk even more. I don't know, just nitpicky. But yeah, he chases them to the roof. Father comes, fights him on the roof. And then he realizes that he ain't gonna win this battle. He just kind of gives up. Takes the shackle that's still connected to the freak. Puts it around him. Jumps off the roof. Taking the bad guy with him, so sacrifice. But yeah, then on his dying breath, because he's still alive down there, he asks for forgiveness for what he did to the son. They forgive each other, they patch their wounds, and then he's dead, movie's over. Very emotional ending, and just a good movie overall. I really liked it. The best kill in this movie is easily the hooker, getting her tits eaten off, and then her vagina eaten at also. Very gnarly ass stuff right there. And then the worst kill will go to the Duchess woman at the very beginning who just dies of old age. Yeah, those are my thoughts on Castle Freak. Have you seen this movie? What did you think about it? Let me know in the comments below. Have you seen this gem? Let me know if you like it, hate it, any interesting facts about it that I don't know about. Be curious to hear about it. And if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, you can hit this like button and share with all your friends. Show some support. You can join my Patreon and become a subscriber just by clicking on my cartoon face in about 5 seconds. And until next time, auf Wiedersehen.